Viewers, listen very well because this story is something that will really hold your attention from beginning to the end. Fulani Bandits are in serious shock right now as locals caught a woman that has been acting as an informant for them. This gist is shaking many communities because it is not every day you see bandits losing their key source of inside information. And for a woman to be the one giving them that advantage, it shocked people even more. Before I continue, please like this video and subscribe so you don't miss any of these real-time updates. Now, here is how the matter happened. In Lafiagi and Patigi areas of Kwara State, locals started suspecting one woman. They noticed strange movements, noticed how bandits were able to come into certain places without stress, and they joined the dots. At night or early morning, they moved in and held this woman, accusing her of signaling bandits, of telling them when security is not around and pointing out who is vulnerable in the area. Imagine the level of risk those locals took. These bandits are armed and very dangerous, yet the community decided they will not just fold their hands. Please, if you are following the gist, just click that like button. It encourages me to keep telling you these stories. Why is this story important? Because in Nigeria today, banditry has become more organized than before. It is no longer just rough men with weapons running into villages. They now run like a network, like a cartel. They need informants, suppliers, insiders to survive. Without those people, they are blind. So if one informant is exposed, it weakens them. That's why this case is very significant. Some days back in Zamfara State, the army also arrested a female supplier who was allegedly giving food, fuel, and other logistics to bandits. That shows this thing is bigger than just one person. Women too are being used either by choice or by pressure. It may sound surprising, but that is how these groups operate. They want people who can move quietly without drawing suspicion. Who would suspect a woman buying food items? Yet those items may end up in the bush with bandits. Please, as you are watching this gist, don't forget to subscribe because I'm bringing you updates that many people don't hear in full detail. Now let us talk about how serious the matter of informants is. Think about it. Security agencies can patrol, set up checkpoints, move around. But if someone in the community is secretly giving information to bandits, those criminals already know the weak spots. They know when security will leave. They know which house has money or who just returned from abroad. That makes attacks more precise and deadly. That's why locals catching an informant is like cutting off the eyes and ears of the bandits. It is a small victory, but very important. But at the same time, it is risky. Bandits don't like being exposed. If they know a community has turned against them, they may try to retaliate. This is where government and security forces must step in. Because if you catch an informant and you are not protected afterward, you are in trouble. Communities must not be left on their own. So while we clap for the courage of the locals, we also hope the authorities are moving in quickly to secure that area. If you agree with me, drop a comment and also like this video. It really helps this channel to grow. Now let's also ask a deeper question. Why are some people, including women, even joining or helping bandits? Some may do it willingly, maybe for money, maybe for relationship ties. Some may be forced. A bandit can threaten a family and say, if you don't help us, we will harm you. So it's not every time that people are guilty out of free choice. That is why proper investigation is needed. We must not turn everything into mob justice, because sometimes people can be accused wrongly. But in this case, reports suggest that evidence was strong and locals already had suspicions for long. What does this development mean for ordinary Nigerians? One, it shows that communities are no longer keeping quiet. People are now bold enough to act. Two, it shows that women are not excluded from this criminal chain, so we must all be vigilant. Three, it shows that bandits are under pressure because when informants are exposed, they panic. Now imagine the effect on those bandits. They were expecting information. Maybe she used to call or signal them. Suddenly, silence. Suddenly, she is in the hands of the community. They are shocked. They may suspect others too. They may even begin to lose trust in some of their contacts. That is why this gist is trending, because it weakens their hold. Please, my people, don't just watch. Make sure you subscribe and like so that you will always get this real-time analysis. Let me take you further. In the wider context, attacks are still happening. In Zamfara some weeks back, about 9 people were killed and many abducted. In Niger, Kaduna, Sokoto, Katsina, the story is the same. But when we see communities standing up, when we hear of informants being caught, we start to see hope. We start to believe that this problem, even though it is tough, can be challenged. I want to throw some questions to you viewers so that we can engage. Do you think this woman was acting because she wanted to, or do you think maybe she was forced? If you were in that community, would you have had the courage to confront her? And what should government do next? Provide protection, arrest and prosecute, or maybe set up more joint security patrols. Please share your views in the comment section. Don't forget, liking this video helps it to spread so others can hear the gist. Another angle I want to mention is this: when an informant is arrested, there is also the possibility of extracting more names. That woman may know other collaborators. She may know how the bandits move, where they buy fuel, who hides weapons for them. If she is properly interrogated by authorities, she can expose a whole network. That is why this arrest is more than just one person. It may lead to others being revealed. That is where the government must be smart and act quickly. Also, let's not forget the community safety. Those who arrested her have painted a target on their back. If bandits try to come for revenge, it will be serious. This is where we as citizens must continue to call government to secure our rural areas. Communities cannot fight this battle alone. If you agree, just type yes in the comments and also click the subscribe button so you can join this growing family. So, what are the takeaways from today's gist? 1. Bandits rely heavily on informants. 2. Locals in Kwara have just disrupted them by catching one. 3. Women too are involved in these networks, whether willingly or unwillingly. 4. There is hope when communities take action, but they need protection. And 5. We must all stay vigilant, report suspicious activities, and never give room to fear. This gist is big, it is ongoing, and we will keep following it. If new updates come out, I will bring it here for you immediately. Please, my people, like this video now if you are still watching, and subscribe to this channel, because your support is what makes it possible for me to keep giving you real-time news and analysis. Now, let us move to the broader angle. Nigeria is a very large country with many states, but when we talk of banditry, there are some key zones that suffer the most. The Northwest, parts of the North Central, and in some cases, even parts of the Southwest. What is common in all these areas is that bandits do not operate alone. They always need contacts inside the towns and villages. Without those people, they will be blind. They will not know which road to block. They will not know who has money, and they will not know when the soldiers are moving. That is why the story of this woman being nabbed is shaking many places. It is telling bandits that locals are no longer ready to keep quiet. In Zamfara, Sokoto, Niger, Kaduna, we have heard stories of vigilantes, hunters, and community guards arresting suspects. Some of them were women, some were even respected community members. Imagine the level of betrayal when the person you greet every day in the market turns out to be feeding information to bandits. It breaks trust. And that is why this particular arrest has become a loud message. Nobody should be above suspicion if the signs are there. Viewers, do you agree that communities must be extra watchful now? Drop your thoughts in the comments and also click that like button if you are following. Now let's talk about the psychology of the bandits. When they hear that one of their informants has been caught, they become suspicious. They start doubting even their own people. That mistrust can make them weaker. If locals continue exposing informants, it means bandits will struggle to plan their attacks. They will make mistakes, and those mistakes can be used against them. But at the same time, we must not ignore the risk. These bandits can also become more desperate and violent if they feel cornered. That is why it is important for security agencies to move faster than them. One big lesson here is that community power is real. Ordinary villagers without guns, without uniforms, decided to take action. It shows that if Nigerians unite at the grassroots, insecurity can be pushed back. But let's be clear, communities cannot do it alone. You cannot expect a small village to face bandits with AK-47s. Government must give them cover, must give them encouragement, must take over the case of the arrested informant so that everything is done properly. If you are still watching, please subscribe and help this channel grow, because these are the conversations we need to keep having as a people. Let me also remind us that women being involved in these networks is not new. In Boko Haram cases, there were women used for intelligence, used for smuggling items, even used as negotiators. In banditry, it is becoming more common. That should tell us something. Insecurity is not just a men in the bush issue. It is a whole ecosystem. That means the solution too must involve everyone: women, youth, elders, religious leaders, security agencies, government, and communities. If you agree, just type "solution must involve everyone" in the comments so I know you are following. Now think about this. What if more informants are caught? What if this woman confesses and gives names? It could shake the entire structure of those bandits. It could lead to a chain of arrests. That is why this arrest must not end in silence. Authorities must press for information, and communities must be protected in case of retaliation. Because what usually happens is this: when bandits feel threatened, they try to send a message by attacking somewhere else. That is why we must all remain alert. Another related gist is that recently several communities in Zamfara and Katsina started blocking their own roads to strangers. They said, "If we don't know you, you cannot pass." This is because they fear informants moving in and out. It may sound extreme, but when people are tired of being victims, they will create their own systems. That is where Nigeria must be careful, because if every community starts defending itself without a central coordination, it can lead to chaos. That is why government must act quickly and lead the way. So viewers, here is the big picture. This arrest in Kwara is not just a local matter. It is a sign of something bigger. It is a sign that bandits are losing grip in some areas. It is a sign that locals are now more courageous. It is also a warning that communities need government protection after such bold moves. And it is a reminder that informants can be anyone, even someone you never suspect. Let me end this segment by asking you directly, do you think more women are working as informants across Nigeria? Do you think this is only about money, or is it sometimes about survival and fear? And do you think government is doing enough to protect communities after such arrests? Please leave your answers in the comments. And remember, liking this video and subscribing is the best way you can support this platform so I can keep bringing you real-time gist and analysis.